All right, let's talk like we're sitting together for real. Just life. And something you might have noticed but never really put words to, because this thing we're talking about today is strange. Some people just look younger than their age, even when they're not trying, even when life has happened to them, especially some men in their 50s, 60s, and even 70s. They walk into a place and you feel it, not just face, energy, presence, something soft, but alive. And the funny part? Most of them don't even know why. So let's unpack it slowly, like a conversation. No pressure, just real talk. So let's start here. You know that moment when someone says, "You don't look your age at all," and the person just laughs like they don't understand it? Yeah, that's what we're talking about. Because looking younger isn't only skin. It's not only gym. It's not only money or creams or lifestyle. It's deeper than that. Carl Jung would probably call it something like inner alignment. When what's inside you is not fighting you, when your mind is not dragging your body down, when your emotions are not stuck in yesterday, that's when something strange happens. You start to look lighter, and lightness makes people look younger. Let's go into the first thing people do every day without knowing it. 1. They don't carry yesterday in their face. Some people wake up, but they're still living yesterday. Arguments from last night, stress from work, that thing someone said in 2009 they still remember. And it shows, not in words, in the face, in the eyes, in the mouth. But some people, especially older men who still look fresh, they don't carry it like that. They feel things, yes, but they don't store it in their body. They let it pass through. That's a big difference, because when stress stays in you too long, it starts building a face, not wrinkles only, but heaviness. So if you're watching this and you're like 55, 60, 65, let me ask you something real. How much of your past are you still wearing today? 2. They move slow, not rushed. This one is interesting. You ever see an older man who moves like he's not in a hurry, not lazy, just controlled? He opens a door slowly. He sits without rushing. He listens like time is not chasing him. That kind of movement changes how people see you, because rushed energy ages people fast. Rushed thinking, rushed talking, rushed reacting. But slow presence, that's calm authority, and calmness makes people look younger than their stress, even if their hair is grey. 3. They don't argue with everything. Let's be honest here. Some people age faster because they fight life every day. They argue with traffic, argue with people, argue with reality. Even small things become battles. But there's another type of person. He just looks, less reactive. He hears something he doesn't like. He pauses. Maybe he smiles. Maybe he walks away. Not because he's weak, but because he's not leaking energy everywhere. And that energy saving, it shows on the face, especially older men. You can literally see it. The face becomes softer, less tight, less sharp in a stressed way, more open. 4. They enjoy small things again. Now this one is powerful, because something happens with age. Some people stop enjoying small things. Food becomes normal, sunset becomes normal, music becomes noise, life becomes routine. But some people, they don't lose that. You see a man in his 60s smiling at simple things, tea in the morning, good conversation, a clean shirt, a peaceful walk, and something happens to him. He looks alive, not because life is perfect, but because he is still receiving life. That's youthfulness, not age, reception. And let me pause here for a second, because if you're watching this and you're older, maybe 50 plus, maybe 60 plus, you might be thinking, is this really why people say I look younger? Maybe yes. Maybe it's not skincare. Maybe it's not luck. Maybe it's how much of life you stopped fighting. 5. They don't explain themselves too much. You ever notice this? Younger energy, especially in older men, has less explaining. They don't feel the need to justify every decision. They don't talk too much to be understood. They just are. And that creates something interesting. Confidence without noise, presence without effort, and people read that as youthfulness. Because insecurity ages people fast. But quiet confidence. It makes people lean in. 6. They still have curiosity. This one is underrated. Some men in their 60s still ask questions like life is new. They still learn, still observe, still wonder. They don't act like they've seen everything, and that curiosity, it keeps the mind flexible, and a flexible mind reflects in the body. You can literally see it in their eyes. They look awake, not tired of life, just still in it. Now I want you to think for a second, because this is not just about looking younger, it's about something deeper. Because Carl Jung once hinted at something like this. When a person is internally divided, when they are not aligned, the body starts to reflect that tension. But when someone becomes more whole, more accepting of themselves, something shifts, the face softens, the energy changes, people feel it before they even understand it, and that's why some older men walk into a room and still have that quiet glow, not loud youth, but calm youth. Evan, they don't wake up already defeated. This one sounds simple, but it's big. Some people wake up and the first thing they do is already stress, phone, news, bills, messages, complaints in their head. Before the day even starts, they are already tired. But there are other people, especially some older men you meet in their 60s, they wake up differently, even if life is not perfect. They don't start the day in panic. They start slow, quiet, sometimes just sitting, sometimes just breathing. And that small difference changes everything, because your morning energy becomes your face energy, and your face energy becomes how people read your age. 8. They laugh. Even when life is serious, let's be real, life gets heavy as you grow older. You lose people, you face health changes, you deal with responsibilities, but some people still keep something alive. They still laugh. Not fake laughter, real laughter, even small jokes, even small moments. And you can see it in them. That laugh keeps something soft in the face. It keeps the eyes alive. It prevents the face from becoming too tight, too serious, too closed. And honestly, seriousness ages people faster than time sometimes. 9. They don't try to look young. This one is funny, because the people who try too hard to look young sometimes end up looking older. Too much forcing, too much effort, too much I must not age. But the ones who naturally look younger, they stop fighting it. They accept their age. They dress clean. They stay present. But they don't chase youth, and that acceptance is powerful, because resistance creates tension, and tension shows on the face. Let me slow down here for a second, because if you're a man in your 50s, 60s, or even 70s watching this part is really for you. You've lived a lot. You've seen things younger people haven't. You've carried responsibilities most people can't imagine. But here's something nobody really tells you. You don't lose youth just because of age. You lose it when life becomes heavy inside you. That's the real shift. 10. They are not emotionally stuck in one version of themselves. This one is deep. Some people get stuck. I am just like this. I've always been this way. That's just me. But the people who still look youthful in their energy, they keep evolving. Even late in life, they adjust, they reflect, they soften when needed. They grow again, and that keeps something alive inside them. Because rigidity ages people, but flexibility keeps them moving inside. Even if their body is slower, their spirit is still adjusting, still open, still alive. Now let's connect something here. Carl Jung talked a lot about integration, not being split inside, not pretending, not forcing a version of yourself, but becoming whole. And when someone starts becoming more whole, something strange happens. They stop leaking energy. They stop fighting themselves. And that inner peace starts showing up on the outside. People don't say, "Oh, he looks younger because of his skin." They say, "He just looks different." That different is energy. And let's go even deeper into real life now, because you might know someone like this. Maybe your uncle, maybe your father, maybe an older neighbor, a man who doesn't talk much. But when he enters a place, there's a calm around him, not loud, not flashy, just steady. And you can't really explain it, but you feel it. That's what we're really talking about here. So here's a question I want you to think about. What is heavier on a person's face? Age or stress? Because if you really observe life, it's not always age that makes people look older. It's tension, it's unresolved emotion, it's constant pressure inside the mind. And when that starts to settle, the face changes, the body softens, even the eyes change. Now I want to talk directly to the older men watching this again, because this is important. You might not hear this often, but there is something powerful about a man who has lived long, but is still light inside, still curious, still calm, still not bitter. That kind of man doesn't just age. He matures into something different. People feel it, even without words. And now, let's slow the energy a bit, because I want you to imagine something. Imagine two men, same age, let's say 62. One is constantly stressed, always arguing, always carrying yesterday, always tense in his body. The other one, he's lived too, he's seen things, but he's lighter. He doesn't rush life. He laughs sometimes, he lets things pass. Now tell me, which one looks younger when they walk into a room? Not because of face, but because of energy. That's the real answer. And here's something even deeper. Most people don't realize this. Your face is not just skin, it's memory, it's emotion stored over time, it's reactions, it's habits, it's how you've lived inside yourself for years. So when people say, "You look younger than your age," what they're really noticing is this. You are not carrying life the same way most people do. Now, before we go further into the next section, I want to ask you something real. Be honest. Do you feel lighter now than you did 10 years ago? Or heavier? And if you feel heavier, what do you think added that weight? Life? Or how you processed life? Drop it in the comments, because this conversation gets deeper when people are real about it. Before you scroll away, I want to hear from you for real, because this topic hits everybody a little differently. Some of you are watching this and thinking about yourself. Some of you are thinking about your father, your uncle, that older man you know who still looks strangely young for his age. And some of you are just sitting there like, "Yeah, I've seen that. I just never knew why." So, I want you to drop something in the comments right now. No pressure, just honesty. Do you feel like you're becoming lighter with age, or heavier? Or if you're watching someone like that, what do you think makes them still look so youthful? And be real. Don't overthink it. Because the best conversations here are not perfect, they're honest. And if this hits something inside you, don't just watch it and leave it here, because we're building a space where we talk about life in a way that actually feels human, not robotic, not fake positivity, just real reflection. So if you want more videos like this, you already know what to do. Stick around, because we're just getting started on this journey of understanding people, aging, and the hidden psychology behind how we show up in life. And I'll leave you with this. Maybe looking younger was never about chasing youth at all. Maybe it was about letting go of what makes you heavy. Think about that, and I'll see you in the next one.